What's going on, everybody, and thank you for tuning in. Wednesday morning here, I am headed over to my father's house because we're going to pick up the Ram and we're going to do an MPG test today. It's going to be 5.7 liter engine versus 5.7 liter engine. The Ram, I believe it's rated at 15, 21, 17 combined. The Tundra is 13, 17, and 15 combined, so it's close enough to make a good fight. Obviously, the TRD Pro Tundra has the upgraded suspension for off-road and more of an all-terrain tire, while the Ram we will be driving today has more roadworthy spring wheel and tire setup. It has 20-inch wheels on it with very roadworthy tires, so we're going to see how much of a difference each of that makes. I'm going to take it on the 30-mile loop that I do all my vehicles on. If you missed the Tundra versus FRS video I was doing for MPG, the Tundra got, I believe it was 17.9 on that loop. I want to say 18.9, but I don't think it was. I think it was 17.9. Go back and look at the video. So I was very happy with what that got. Just so you know, the FRS on that same 30-mile loop did 38.1 miles per gallon. So today we're going to test these two trucks out. This is going to be the longest I've ever driven the Ram. I'm going to take the Ram out first. I'm going to give some impressions on it as I drive. And then when we get into the TRD Pro Tundra, I'm going to give some impressions on the Tundra after driving the Ram. See if there's things that I like and dislike differently after driving the Ram for that long. So stay tuned. Should be a fun video. Probably cover a bunch of other things along the way as these rides get a little boring. So, you know, it's a non-biased thing. We're going to take them the same speed, nice and easy, all the way around the 30 miles. And we'll see what we end up with. So please stay tuned. And here we are just taking off in the Ram. It feels so different from the Tundra. Just everything right off the bat. I'll tell you one thing I automatically would have to get very used to in this vehicle is that dial that you turn to go from park, reverse, neutral drive instead of like a gear shifter or a column shifter. That's a little different. So now we've started our 30-mile run here. And like I said, both vehicles we're going to drive nice and easy, a normal run. There'll be no going hard with it and everything. I'm going to try to simulate the same exact ride for both vehicles on the same exact route. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. We're just going to do the speed limit. The good thing about this route that we're taking, by the way, is it has a little bit of everything. We're going to go through some city. We're going to go through some, medium speed roads, and then the second half of the trip, the speed limit is like 50 miles an hour, and it has very limited stoppage on it. There's not a lot of lights and stuff. So that's where you'll get a really good MPG number out of it. It's a perfect blend of everything. So one of my ideas is maybe next week I'll take both of these trucks out and do a highway test. We'll probably do like a 90 to 100 mile loop and see what the gas mileage is out there. But you gotta let me know if you guys want that. Is this good enough to combine what we're doing today, or do you want to see highway numbers? So if you want the highway mileage video, let me know, and we will do that next week. So I'm gonna give you a bit of a New Jersey history lesson real quick. We're about halfway through the run. I did this in a video a while ago, but that was before I had a lot of subscribers. So in case you didn't see it, we'll do it again. So we're about to go over right now the Mantaloking Bridge. And if you're not from this area, it probably won't mean much to you, but this was the bridge that was made famous by Superstorm Sandy. All right, so once we get over this bridge here, I'll show you. I'll actually put up a couple of pictures of the before after of what Hurricane Sandy did to this bridge. But as we come up over the crest here, you're gonna see straight ahead, you'll just see a traffic light and some beach and a bunch of houses on each side. Okay, all these houses were wiped out. The ocean came right through the beach, and there was ocean where we are right now. It basically carved a path into the land. Like a good third of the bridge was underwater. All these houses were gone. There used to be houses all in front of us there where the beach is. That was all houses. So the ocean took out that whole area. So yeah, this bridge was totally made famous by Superstorm Sandy. And like I said, I will throw up a couple pictures of the carnage that Superstorm Sandy did to this area. Right now I'm driving through Mantaloking, which again was known because of that shot, but also a bunch of these houses were lost. There was huge fires over here. This road we're on right now is called Route 35. This was completely torn up. This road was just done after Sandy. They had to rebuild everything you're looking at right now. And actually, if you're peering down to the left over toward the beach area, because there's houses to the left and then the beach immediately. Some of these houses are still not rebuilt yet. They're still waiting on insurance claims and stuff like that. So like you'll see a lot of openings out of nowhere and there's no houses there anymore because they tore them down and didn't put anything back up. But yeah, if you're ever bored and you want to search anything, search Superstorm Sandy, New Jersey, and look at Mantaloking, look at Seaside Heights, where the roller coaster was in the water. And what a lot of people don't know is on one pier, there's two piers in Seaside Heights. There's the Funtown Pier, all right? And then there's the pier called Casino Pier. Casino Pier is where the coaster was in the water. That's the famous picture. But if you look at the other pier, that coaster actually fell in the water too, but they didn't really talk about that much. But yeah, that's your New Jersey history lesson. Other than that, halfway report card for the Ram. I definitely dig it. It's getting insanely good gas mileage right now. I'm not going to give that away till the end. Some wins and dislikes is, I'll tell you one thing right now that's a win, is everything in the interior here is a win. The whole setup, the 8.4 inch screen, the infotainment, everything. The screen between the gauges that gives you all your stats. Like right now, I have it on the MPG stats. That is showing me my average MPG, my average miles per hour, my elapsed time, and my distance traveled all on one screen, which is just cool. Yeah, so that's some of the things I love. The interior is a huge win. A lot more going on in here than the Tundra for sure. Some things I'm kind of surprised about is anything under 50 miles an hour, this truck is pretty bumpy. I expected it to be a little more smoother, especially with the 20-inch wheels, with the roadworthy tires on it and stuff like that. Once you get over 50, it's like floating. It feels good, it's real smooth. But under 50, it definitely feels like a truck. It feels like the transmission wants to get out of gear immediately, which, you know, it's an 8-speed transmission. It feels a lot different than the Tundra that wants to stay in the gear a little longer, i.e. why you get such good gas mileage from this truck. And it's very good right now, I'll tell you that. Yeah, I mean, it does feel like the truck kind of lunges a little bit when braking, but that just might be because I'm not used to braking with this truck. It feels a little heavier than the TRD Pro, than the Tundra in general. I guess that has a lot to do with my lunging with the braking thing. But overall, it's definitely a good truck. It's definitely a good ride so far. So I'll talk to you guys at the end. We're probably about 10 to 12 miles away from finish here, so see you in a couple minutes. All right, so just pulled over. We're at the end of the run with the Ram. 21.5 MPG. It gives you all the stats right there. I'm not sure if you could see it, but 21.5 MPG is a 37 mile per hour average. Elapsed time 49 minutes. So now let's move to the Tundra. I don't think the Tundra is going to touch that, but we'll see how close it can get. Now we are in the Tundra on its 30-mile run, and now these brakes feel weird to me. So one of the things I was saying is the brakes on the Ram feel kind of lungy. The truck feels a lot heavier than this truck, but I started to get used to the brakes, and now when I just did my first brake in this, I was like, oh, okay, get back used to this. So overall, the Ram was a pleasant ride, and if you own a Ram, you're definitely, you're not doing anything bad, I'll tell you that. The MPG was, what, 21.45, whatever I said it was. That's impressive. I don't think the Tundra's going to touch that. I'd like to see how close the Tundra can get. But, man, I'll tell you one thing, the gearing in that, I think I said this when I was doing my halfway report with the Ram, it gets, it's 8 speeds, so it gets up into that higher gear quicker. Kind of like when you're coming off a light, instead of the normal, the things like, like it really wants to get up quick, and that's why you get your good gas mileage, I reckon. But yeah, now we're taking the Tundra. We're back in this, and after being in that Ram and being in this, one thing right off the bat, I swear to this, I'm not lying. This is not because I'm a Tundra guy. I'm being non-biased, first off. I am not the type of dude that will go and tell you, you know, this is better because it's a Tundra. I'm Toyota's biggest critic. You guys know that. One thing right off the bat is I'm surprised how close the suspensions are at low speed. Like, this is bumpy. This is a little jarring, but so is that at low speed. But once you get over 50 miles an hour in that Ram, it really does get nice and comfortable and you don't feel anything. The cabin in here is a lot louder versus that. The exhaust is just null and void, to be honest with you, in the Ram. You don't hear it at all. You hear it at startup, maybe a little bit when you're getting up to speed, but like I said, I drove very fuel efficient, so I wasn't getting up to speed hard. But once you're up to speed, you don't hear anything. In the Tundra, you hear the exhaust the whole time. Definitely more sound deadening materials in the Ram. It kind of reminded me of the 1794 that you couldn't really hear what was going on outside, even though on the 1794 I had the dual exhaust. So I learned a lot with the Ram today, and I look forward to doing more tests with it and stuff like that. But as far as gas mileage goes, man, it's just 21.5 in a half-ton pickup. It's pretty killer, especially with an 8-cylinder engine. You know, it's not like it's EcoBoost or anything like that. So let's see how close this engine can get now. I'll try to do a midway check-in, but my battery, of course, is going low on this thing again, even though I charged it right before we started. But overall, yeah, let's hope for a good run for the Tundra, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Pulling over in the same exact spot. 19.8 for the Tundra, and average speed was 37 miles per hour, which I believe was the same thing for the Ram. Before we get into any results, let's talk about the hardest thing that I've ever had to do in my life, which happened today. And that's drive two 400 horsepower trucks as slow as I possibly could, as fuel efficient as possible. So overall, I'm extremely impressed with the Tundra, all right? Yes, the Ram won, and the Ram won by, what was the Ram? 20, I don't remember now. I think the Ram was 21.4 or 5, right? But the Tundra came in at 19.8 with the same average miles per hour. So we gave up, you know, 1.6 or 7 miles per gallon to the Ram. But again, the Ram has the 20-inch roadworthy wheels and tire package and coilovers in the back and nice road springs in the front, going against the TRD Pro that has a lifted front end, an aggressive off-road suspension on it. I'm very impressed with 19.8 for the Tundra. They were driven exactly the same way. I drove them both as just slow as possible, at the speed limit, nothing crazy. Got them up to speed right, everything. I didn't try to bend for the Tundra at all. I don't know how I would be able to do that anyway. In fact, the Tundra hit a lot more traffic lights in the first half of the run than the Ram did. So I'm really, really happy with both trucks. You can't go wrong with either truck. You know, Fiat Chrysler has, you know, they don't have the best reliability for sure, but, you know, one of the best engines you can get is the 5.7 liter Hemi. I mean, that's pretty bulletproof. It's been around a long time. But yeah, I'm really, really impressed that the Pro was able to pull a 19.8. It's just a 30-mile run, but man, that makes me pretty happy. One thing I would love to do is get my hands on like a Platinum or a 1794 with the 20-inch wheels and the roadworthy tires, and see if I could really go after that 21.4 or 5, whatever the Ram put up. I bet you I could get very close. But yeah, so what did you guys think of that? Would you guys want to see a head-to-head highway challenge? Would you want to see not a 1,000-mile loop, but a 100-mile loop with each truck to see what number they could pull on the highway? Let me know. If you guys want it, I'll do it. MPG tests are absolutely the hardest thing of all. It's funny because the reason I showed you guys both information screens was because the last time I did an MPG test, one of the people wrote me a comment saying they didn't believe that the Tundra got what I said. And I just wanted, you know, I shook my head at it. And I don't like to get annoyed by negative comments, but that annoyed me is because, you know, I take a lot of time out of the day to get these MPG tests down. I try to make it so it's a time where there's not a lot of cars on the road. So that means waking up a little earlier, getting everything else done so I could get these MPG tests in there. And then when I put it all up and do all the work to get it up there for you guys, I get someone telling me that I cheated and lied, which, think what you want to think, but that's not the case. I'm always going to give you the real world stuff. I'm not the type that's going to lie to you about numbers. I don't work for Toyota, okay? So just know that. So that's why I showed you both screens. All numbers are always real. But yeah, just let me know if you guys like this one. MPG test Ram versus TRD Pro Tundra. And leave comments below or find me on Twitter and Instagram at TundraDude34. Have a great day, everyone.